Autoplushophilia, so you derive—
Oh, I think we all have this. Is this one where we all take teddy bears and we'll like cut open the bottom of it and make a hole in it so we can insert it? Sometimes we put like oil or some type of like lubrication on the other side of it. The internet is home to a lot of strange fantasies or forms of pleasure. So today we're gonna be checking those out. So today we got every weird fetish in 21 minutes.
It's a Sunday afternoon and you're lying in a park feeling all cute when a grasshopper suddenly decides—
No. You got this all wrong already. We do not go outside. Look around me, bro. I got no windows. We sit around, we scroll all day. Yes, we scroll.
When a grasshopper suddenly decides to take a scenic stroll up your arm. Now, most people would swat it away faster than you can say pest control, but for someone with Formicophilia, this tiny invader is not an annoyance. It's a VIP guest delivering a special thrill.
Hello? Why are you making this ooh-woo face with a insect on your arm? There's a human out there watching this video who's potentially attracted to bugs. What do you see? Do you just see like the legs? You trying to make killer ants from Hunter x Hunter?
Thrill. Yes, Formicophilia is a fetish where individuals are aroused at the sensation of insects crawling on their skin.
What? That's like one of the worst feelings I could ever think of, bro. Having your skin feel like it's crawling, seeing way too many holes in one spot, and employment, bro. Getting jobs.
Insect on their skin isn't a creepy crawly nightmare. It's more like a ticklish, tantalizing spa treatment. The gentle tickling or biting sensation can trigger physical arousal, often heightened by the psychological thrill of engaging.
Why is this dude looking all like freaked out over a bug biting him, bro? So you like mosquitoes just sucking on you? I mean, they are sucking the blood out of you.
With something taboo or unconventional. It's like combining the adrenaline of a scary movie with the tingles of ASMR, except the actors are ants, spiders, or beetles, and their
hell nah,
scripts
bro.
are all improv.
You get bitten by a freaking spider and you're over there tingling. No.
This bizarre fetish more weird. Formicophiliacs actually love the idea of being a source of food for these insects. They literally find delight in turning themselves into a living banquet, and the more adventurous among them might even get creative and sprinkle honey or sugar on themselves to lure the ants or insects. But of course,
this has got to be what the cave divers be having, bro. Because there's no reason for you to be crawling up inside them holes other than the fact that you have Formicophilia and you want to get eaten out by an ant. You know what? Maggots would love you. They'll eat the hell out of you. Yes, I said maggots with an M. Do not farm me.
Of course, Formicophilia comes with risks. Let's not pretend that letting insects crawl on your skin is the same as a stroll through a candy store.
Right.
Some bugs bite, some sting, and others might leave you regretting your choices very fast. However, Formicophiles often pick their insect partners carefully, favoring critters that are less likely to cause actual harm. After all, no one
I'm guessing the more extreme ones probably find more like deadly bugs though, right?
It's their steamy bug encounter to turn into an ER visit. Hybristophilia. Picture this. You're at a random frat party sipping your drink when a stranger walks up to you from nowhere and starts talking. You're initially
and then they drug you and then you go back home with them like Bill Cosby and then you forget what happened and then you never remember ever again that you got violated, bro.
Brush him off and walk away until he mentions that he just got released from prison for unaliving someone.
Okay.
Now, the normal reaction to hearing this would probably be to walk away because the red flags are pretty glaring, right? But
unless you're a woman who wants a bad boy who's just so thuggish and roughed out, itching to kill somebody, itching to shoot somebody with that switch, bro. Some people are like that, bro. I remember back in high school.
Hybristophilia is a psychological phenomenon where individuals feel attracted to people who've committed crimes.
You go to a school in the freaking hood, every single freaking girl has this. They all have Hybristophilia, whatever it is, okay? Because the amount of dudes who commit crazy crimes, they're like YNs or they want to be thugs or they want to be gang members and they still pull is crazy, bro. Brief intermission. If you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 40,000 subscribers. Thank you very much.
The term comes from the Greek word hubris, which means outrage, and philia, which is fondness. So in essence, it's when breaking the law becomes a little too attractive. For someone with this fetish, there is something undeniably thrilling about being close to someone who lives on the edge and loves the thrill of danger. It's like dating a human version of a roller coaster. Exciting, but slightly terrifying.
Got you.
Psychologists suggest that danger also activates the brain's reward system, so when you're around someone who exudes that danger, it would heighten your adrenaline and make everything else in your life spicy.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that spice might be paprika.
So this is how you feel when you get in a police chase or an active shooting situation. You just feel like you want to, smash the dude, or you feel like you want to smash the woman, depending on how you get down.
mixed with a felony. Then there's the fame factor, because if you follow the stories of infamous criminals like Ted Bundy and Richard Ramirez, you notice that they have a lot of fan mail in prison. That's because some hybristophiliacs are drawn to the notoriety of it all.
Bro, is it crazy to say that? I feel like more women would have this than men. Because even on TikTok, bro, when freaking Jeffrey Dahmer's documentary dropped on Netflix, I think, people were really like making crazy edits of him and stuff. Oh, he's so dreamy. He's such a dreamy man.
Dating a celebrity, except their claim to fame isn't a hit album, it's, well, murder. Talk about deadly charm. They may even help with the crimes, smuggle goods to their criminal partners, or even act as accomplices. Eproctophilia.
Okay.
So for a while now, you've been talking to a guy you met on Instagram, and you both decide to finally have a first date. You head to the spot and everything looks absolutely perfect. However, as soon as your date finishes his first course, he starts to gas uncontrollably, and it stinks. Now,
there's no way that this right here is the attraction to somebody passing gas, somebody farting.
Most people might blush, be a little embarrassed, or pretend they didn't hear anything, but well, not you. And that's because you have Eproctophilia, which is a weird fascination with flatulence. In fact,
sniffing somebody's farts on a first goddamn date, you're not even gonna get to know them. You don't even know what they ate for real. You don't know what their bowel movements are looking like, bro. I would understand if they were eating, you know, freaking cotton candy flavored Jolly Ranchers or something, bro. Because then they probably smell good, man.
Someone toot or smelling a person's gas just makes your heart skip a beat. For you, it's as romantic as roses, as thrilling as roller coasters, and as intimate as whispering secrets in the dark.
Hell no, bro.
Eproctophilia isn't about just liking a funny fart joke. We're talking about a genuine, heartfelt, or perhaps
no, we got it, bro. This is a dude when he's on the first date with a girl, she farts, and he goes over to the other side of the chair and sniffs it. I mean, I've actually seen a couple of chair sniffers, though, in real life and online. So maybe this is what they got. Eproctophilia.
Felt attraction to the sound, smell, or sensation of flatulence. Just as
what do you mean that sensation? You like the feeling of the warm air from somebody's butt coming on your arm? No, bro. No, bro.
Some people find the smell of fresh-baked cookies comforting. Eproctophiles feel a similar joy when their partner lets one rip. Vorarephilia. Vor. At its core, Vorarephilia is all about a fetish where people are aroused by the idea of consuming someone or being consumed.
So this is like taking eating out to a whole new level. Literally cannibalism. You're attracted to that?
A bit like the adult-rated version of Little Red Riding Hood, where the wolf gets a little too into character. Now, for this fetish, there are two main sides, which are the predators, the ones doing the eating, often imagining themselves as dominant or powerful, as well as the prey. The guys who fantasize about being devoured because they see it as submissive, intimate, or even comforting. However,
about getting eaten with a freaking fork and a knife? Bro, you're not gonna be feeling all fancy and nice when she's cutting you open with a literal blade, a dagger, a sword.
You should note that most vor fantasies are pure imagination or roleplay, and nobody is actually grilling human meat like it's Saturday backyard barbecue.
What? You tell me you can't cut off the meat and put it on a grill and turn it into a hot dog, a real life hot dog made of the hot dog? Or you can't put the hot dog between the buns, like literally, you can't cut it off and cook it?
But they engage in this fetish using various means like roleplay, art, and stories with a thriving community of artists and writers who
if you're doing this all in a fictional setting, I can't really hate.
Create fantastical depictions of these scenarios. Like cartoonish wolves or dragons swallowing people whole. Virtual vor has also become quite popular because the internet has made it more visible.
That's valid.
Forniphilia. So your friend invited you to a sleek modern art exhibit and you see a gorgeous chair in the corner. But as you get closer, you realize it's not just a chair, but an actual person crouched, posed, and painted to resemble the real deal.
What?
Now, while most visitors are left gawking in confusion, you find yourself oddly intrigued and actually flustered because the thought of a human serving as furniture stirs something deep within you.
This is some Diddy stuff, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You want a human chair? Who wants that? Is that not uncomfortable?
Simple terms, you have a fetish called Forniphilia, also known as human furniture fetishism. You see, Forniphilia is a type of BDSM practice where a person is turned into a piece of furniture. Quite literally. We're talking human chairs, tables, lamps, coat racks, and even coffee stands. Yes, that's right. Some people find eroticism in merging the functional with the flesh. In Forniphilia, one partner would act as the furniture, while the other takes on the role of the user, the artist, or simply the one in control. This fetish often involves bondage to help the furniture maintain its pose, as well as props and costumes to enhance the illusion. The appeal lies—
You got a dude here with a plastic bag and freaking bondage acting like a chair. What? Like, what's the thought process behind this?
in the physical restraint, objectification, and sometimes even the endurance required to hold a particular form for long periods. It's definitely a niche kink, to say the least. But for those who indulge, it's a perfect blend of submission, creativity, and power dynamics.
Okay.
Autoplushophilia. After getting hounded by your niece to find a new stuffed teddy, you finally gave in and walked into the toy store. And as soon as your eyes landed on the giant fluffy teddy bear, you know it's definitely coming home with you.
Okay.
Not because you want to give it to your niece. It's actually because you have a weird fetish called Autoplushophilia, so you derive—
Oh, I think we all have this. Is this one where we all take teddy bears and we'll like cut open the bottom of it and make a hole in it so we can insert it? Sometimes we put like oil or some type of like lubrication on the other side of it. It makes it like a good, fun time. Yes, we.
excitement and sexual arousal from imagining yourself as a stuffed animal.
Oh, never mind.
You heard that right. While most people see a teddy and think cuddly friend, you see a plushie and get turned on by the idea of becoming one. Autoplushophilia is a subset of objectophilia, which is—
Wait, is this just what furries have? They want to become teddy bears, right? To an extent.
an attraction to inanimate objects and closely related to roleplay or transformation fetishes.
Okay.
However, its defining feature is that the individual doesn't simply love plush toys, they want to embody one. It's less about collecting stuffed animals and more about imagining or enacting themselves as the toy.
How do you even enact that? You just want to be a freaking teddy bear chasing freaking honey? I don't like, how do you even do that? What do you mean?
Complete with fluff, fur, and button eyes. Think of it as teddy bear cosplay, but taken to a very personal level. However,
So you guys want to become the teddy bear in a sense, the same way I want to become Sasuke Uchiha and needs to restore his honor. My bad.
thing with this fetish is that most people engage and find the appeal in it because of the comfort and safety.
Okay.
Stuffed animals are often associated with warmth, comfort, and childhood innocence.
Okay.
So by imagining themselves as a plushie, individuals may tap into those feelings of security and nostalgia. I mean, who wouldn't want to live their
So
best
maybe if you have like a sad or maybe an amazing childhood and you want to go back to it and you find comfort in teddy bears, you almost want to become the teddy bear?
life as a snuggly teddy bear free from adult worry? Lunars. If you were to walk into a room filled with beautiful blown-up balloons, you'd
Balloons?
probably try to pop
Like BBL balloons? What are we talking about?
some or even play and bounce them around. However, for a lunar, these balloons are more than just inflatable decor. They are the centerpiece of a highly specific and deeply personal form of attraction known as balloon fetishism.
Like what, though?
Paraphilia, where balloons are a source of sexual arousal and
People who have this, they just draw a face of the balloon. Yo, imagine. I can only imagine, bro. What's a very famous person right now? I don't know. Oh, freaking Sydney Sweeney. Somebody's probably fucking drawing a goddamn Sydney Sweeney balloon as we speak.
emotional connection, or both. For lunars, balloons are objects of desire, comfort, and sometimes fear. Yes, fear. In fact, one of the most fascinating aspects of this fetish is how it intertwines pleasure, anxiety, and anticipation.
What?
You see, lunars come in all shapes, sizes, and preferences, much like their beloved balloons. The pop lovers find excitement in the bang and the tension of a balloon slowly inflating or being squeezed builds anticipation.
What? So that sound of a balloon going boom, blow it up all the way, and then you let go and it goes. That arouses you?
The loud pop is the climax, both literally and metaphorically.
Oh.
For them, the burst of sound
So we are nutting to the freaking pop of a balloon. Okay.
and destruction is exhilarating. On the other end of the spectrum are those who adore balloons but can't bear the thought of them popping. For non-poppers, balloons are cherished objects of affection, cuddled, caressed, or simply admired for their shape, color, and texture. However,
Get a job, bro. If you're catering to a freaking balloon this much, actually, you know what? Get a pet, bro. Get a pet rabbit or a cat or a dog or something. I don't know.
as with any fetish, being a lunar can come with its own set of challenges. Many
Okay.
lunars feel self-conscious or misunderstood about their interests, especially since balloons are typically associated with children. This can make it hard for them to share their desires with others. But online communities have provided a safe space for lunars to connect, share experiences,
Okay.
and
I mean, anything on this list, if you tell somebody you're attracted to them, they're probably gonna look at you crazy. But with something like this, you say, oh, I'm attracted to balloons. Don't worry, though. I don't like kids or nothing. It has nothing to do with children. Relax, relax. I can see how maybe the optics of it to an average person is like, what? What did you say?
Passion. It's basically a colorful world of squeaks, squishies, and surprises. Nasophilia. Yes, nasophilia or nose fetishism is exactly...
So the holes inside of somebody's nose, their hairs, you don't gotta go into a hole that small. I mean, unless you're like me, you know, we got that micro, we got that 1 inch going on. But there are other holes on the human body, okay? You ever try the ear hole? All right, my bad.
What it sounds like, an attraction to noses. Basically, for people with nasophilia, noses aren't just functional breathing apparatuses or sneeze factories. They're objects of beauty, sensuality, or even desire. The curve, the nostrils, the symmetry or asymmetry.
I mean, if you look at a nose hard enough, it kind of looks like somebody's, I don't know, their butt or their chest, bro. Like, you see the curvature right here?
The nostrils, the symmetry or asymmetry, the little tiny hair follicles inside, and the 2 tiny holes are absolutely captivating. Now, at its core, nasophilia
now
is
you're speaking my language with them holes, bro.
a form of partialism, meaning the focus of sexual attraction is on a specific body part.
Okay.
In this case, the nose. It could be the shape, size, or texture of the nose, or even specific actions like sniffing, sneezing, or flaring nostrils that evoke desire. Some even have
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Yo, you like this? This doesn't sound real, I'm sorry.
Some nasophiles might prefer sharp, angular noses, while others are drawn to round, bulbous ones. Large noses might exude power and confidence, while small noses can appear delicate and cute. And let's not forget nostrils.
Yeah.
Yes, even those have their admirers. For these guys, a nose isn't just a nose, but it's a work of art. Well, like many fetishes, nasophilia...
So these people, when they were kids and they played that got your nose game, yo, they were probably so mad. They were probably heated, bro.
doesn't have a single clear cause, but there are several psychological and social factors that might contribute to someone developing this unique attraction.
Like what?
For instance, a person who grew up with positive memories involving noses, like affectionate boops or playful interactions, might evolve into a fascination in adulthood. Oculolinctus, also known as worming in some circles, is a paraphilia that involves deriving sexual arousal or pleasure from licking eyeballs or having your eyeball licked. Yes.
Hell no, bro. I cannot do anything with my eyes, bro. Little side note, side quest, bro. I wear these goofy circular ass glasses all the time, right? It's because I need contacts, but I refuse to put anything in my eye as of right now. I don't know what it is. The sensation, the feeling just feels, I'm being invaded. Anything going in my eye, I'm like, no, bro, I can't do it.
It's exactly what it sounds like. No metaphors here. This fetish normally involves 2 people who experience
Yo, why did I think that these were nuts for a second, bro? I'm tripping.
Sensation in their own way. For the person doing the licking, there's the slippery, wet texture of the eye, and for the one being licked, it's the unusual, ticklish, and slightly invasive feeling of a tongue sliding across one of the most sensitive parts of the body. Now, as with...
Can't you get an infection like that, bro? You know how dirty people's tongues are? They be eating everything. They be eating food, they be eating dirt, they be eating butt, they be looking at the ground. You know them 5-second rule type of dudes? It's been 10 seconds now. It's been on the floor for 15 seconds now. And then you want that tongue on your eyes? Yeah.
Most fetishes, Oculolinctus has psychological and sensory underpinnings that make it appealing to certain individuals.
Really?
First of all, there's the whole issue of trust and intimacy. Let's face it, letting someone lick your eyeball takes a lot of trust.
Hell yeah.
Eyes are incredibly delicate, and the act of licking one requires a level of vulnerability that can deepen emotional and physical connections between partners.
You do not need to freaking lick somebody's eyeball or get your eyeball licked to have a good connection with your partner. Breaking news.
Also, your eyes are packed with nerve endings, and this makes it an incredibly sensitive area, so the unusual sensation of a tongue on their eyeball can be stimulating and even pleasurable.
There's no way this is safe though, right guys? Like, no way, right?
But then here is where things get tricky. You see, from a medical perspective, Oculolinctus is not a safe practice and carries serious risks. The human mouth is full of bacteria, and introducing these microbes to the eye can cause serious infections, including conjunctivitis, aka pink eye, or even more severe conditions like corneal ulcers and even herpes simplex. Plus,
no way! If somebody gives you freaking herpes on your eyeball, oh my god, you gotta kill him. You gotta shoot him right there on the spot, bro. Actually, no, you don't gotta shoot him. You gotta do something more torturous. A contraption that like gradually opens as you pull a lever, and you gotta like stick it inside of him, up inside, and pull it until it like stretches their legs in half, bro. Cause nah, bro, you're not giving no freaking eyeball herpes to me, bro.
Isn't exactly a precision instrument. So if it scrapes the cornea, it could cause abrasions, swelling, discomfort, or long-term damage to the eye's surface.
Okay.
Thankfully, Oculolinctus isn't exactly sweeping the world like a viral dance trend, but it has gained attention in recent years, especially in certain online communities and subcultures. It briefly made headlines in the early 2010s when reports surfaced of teens in Japan engaging in eyeball licking as a form of intimacy.
In Japan? See, I was born in America, bro. Half Japanese, I was born in America, bro. I'm glad they don't do that here, bro.
And subcultures. It briefly made headlines in the early 2010s when reports surfaced of teens in Japan engaging in eyeball licking as a form of intimacy. However, these claims were largely exaggerated by media outlets. In reality, Oculolinctus remains a niche fetish practiced by a small but devoted group of enthusiasts. Most people, understandably, can't imagine letting someone's tongue anywhere near their eyeball.
Yeah, hell no.
That's totally okay. Maschalagnia.
What do you mean okay? That's totally normal. Maschalagnia.
It's a scorching hot day. The sun's blazing, the pavement feels like lava, and everyone's wearing as little clothes as socially acceptable.
Okay.
You walk into a bar dying for a cold beer.
Okay.
Just as you spot a frosty mug calling your name, someone nearby lifts their arms to stretch, revealing their armpits, and bam, your heart skips a beat. You're not sure why, but suddenly the air is thick with attraction and an unshakable chemistry. Well, here's the why. You have a fetish called Maschalagnia, also
This is the attraction to armpits? Who has this?
known as the armpit fetish. For most people, armpits are like that one quiet kid in school, barely noticed, rarely talked about, and definitely not the center of attention.
No. I don't know what school you went to. They were the center of attention, bro. We had physical education. We had gym class, bro. And there was people who would spray that Axe body spray and cologne and their musk, and it would do nothing, bro. And it would have a thick, heavy concoction in the air with a putrid foul scent that I cannot shake, and I remember to this day. I am traumatized deeply by the activities of gym class and the way people would smell afterwards, bro.
Someone with Maschalagnia, armpits are the headliners of the show, the main act in the theater of desire. Basically, this fetish is when someone finds armpits irresistibly attractive and can involve all sorts of armpit appreciation, from admiring their smooth appearance to enjoying their scent, to touching, kissing, or even licking the area. For those with this fetish, the armpit is like a hidden treasure chest of sensuality.
Hell nah, bruh.
It's soft, delicate, and let's face it, kind of mysterious. What's even weirder than having an armpit fetish is that it may not be as crazy as it sounds.
What?
You see, your armpits are loaded with sweat glands, particularly apocrine glands, which release pheromones. Those sneaky little chemical signals that can trigger attraction on a subconscious level. That musky natural scent that some people wrinkle their noses at, for others, it's like a love potion straight out of Harry Potter. It's
kind of like nature's perfume in a way. I don't know, but we're not animals, though. That's my thing.
It's raw, it's biology doing its thing. There's also the fact that your armpit is like the satin sheet of the human body because the skin there is extremely soft and sensitive, which makes it incredibly stimulating. Basically, if the body were a road trip, the armpits would be one of those hidden scenic routes nobody talks about. But once you discover it, you'll be wondering why you never tried it before.
Hey man, maybe we need to be trying, inserting it into the armpit and like going like this or something. I don't know. Maybe he's onto something.
Dacryphilia. Let's say you're watching a deeply emotional movie and one of the characters breaks down in tears. And while everyone else in the room is grabbing tissues and saying, "How sad," you're thinking about how pleasurable the sound of them wailing actually is.
What?
If that sounds familiar, you might be exploring the world of Dacryphilia, which is a fetish where arousal is linked to tears, crying, or emotional vulnerability. It's not necessarily about causing tears, though for some it can be, but more about the emotional intensity and vulnerability that crying represents. So basically, people with Dacryphilia might be drawn to the physical act of crying itself, like tears rolling down cheeks, quivering lips, or red, puffy eyes. Some are attracted to the emotional release that crying symbolizes.
That's weird,
such
bro.
as pain, sadness, or catharsis, while others just love the power dynamic involved, especially if one person is comforting or in control of the crying partner. However, for some people, it's really not about sadness or suffering in a malicious sense. Rather, it's about the intimacy of experiencing someone's raw, unfiltered emotions. But the weirdest part is that sometimes Dacryphilia isn't even always about the other person. Some dacryphiles enjoy crying themselves and find release and arousal in their...
I would assume being in this type of situation, you're like, Nah, bro, nah.
Own emotional vulnerability. They might even deliberately trigger their own emotions or indulge in self-reflection to make themselves cry.
Okay.
Chremastistophilia. So you just came back from the club and were walking down a dark alley when someone suddenly comes out of nowhere and tries to mug you. Now,
Okay.
most people would feel a mix of fear, anger, and panic.
Uh-huh.
For someone with Chremastistophilia, that moment of being robbed or coerced would spark something entirely different.
Like what?
Arousal. Yes, you heard that right. Arousal. In a nutshell, Chremastistophilia is a paraphilia where
So y'all who have this want to get robbed, hey, I'll come up to you anytime, bro, with the gun and be like, yo, give me all your money. I mean, if you feeling, joyful over that, we can keep doing it. As long as you give me all the money, we're both benefiting at the end of the day. Perfect.
individuals derive sexual excitement or gratification from situations where they are being robbed, extorted, or otherwise financially or materially exploited. This fetish basically falls into the category of masochistic kinks, where pleasure is derived from being on the receiving end of certain forms of control.
So you want to be on your knees, just chained up, just nowhere to go. Life on the line, just being threatened. Okay.
Is derived from being on the receiving end of certain forms of control, humiliation, or submission, and it thrives on the thrill of power imbalance, danger, and the emotional intensity of such scenarios.
Hey, man.
And while it might sound like the setup for a bizarre crime thriller, for some, it's a very real and specific source of arousal.
I'd be so mad if I had this, though, because I can only imagine, like, let's just say we're getting robbed, right? We're in our house, we're in the comfort of our home, laying down, butt naked, no pants on, no underwear, because that's how we like to sleep. And a dude comes in with a freaking baseball bat with metal spikes and it's like, fork up all the cash. And you're suddenly just so freaking aroused instead of actually fighting for your life.
Sometimes individuals would even practice something called findom, where they willingly give money, gifts, or financial control to a dominant partner. You should probably note that the attraction isn't necessarily about losing money itself.
Okay.
I mean, no one's thrilled about an empty wallet.
Right.
Instead, it's about the emotional and psychological dynamics of the situation, the sense of vulnerability, the rush of adrenaline, and the control exerted by another person can create an intoxicating mix of fear and arousal.
Got
But
you.
Chremastistophilia, like any fetish, requires clear communication and consent. So
Right.
even exploring this kink with a partner through roleplay or findom can be safe and enjoyable when both parties are on the same page.
Okay.
However, indulging in this fetish outside of a consensual setting can be dangerous or even illegal.
Yeah,
So-
and deadly, by the way. You could die. Somebody could actually kill you. Again, imagine the robbers like, give me your cash, and you're like, oh yeah? What if I give you something else? And then they just shoot your ass right there.
Vorarephilia. Just imagine leaving your house one morning to go on a jog and unfortunately witnessing a car crash. Your instant reaction would most probably be to quickly call 911 and
Right.
offer help and sympathy to the people involved.
Right.
However, for a person with Symphorophilia, that crash isn't just a spectacle, it's an intense source of arousal. So, with Symphorophilia, the person gets sexually aroused from witnessing or staging disasters,
What?
such as car crashes, fires, or other destructive
Nah,
events.
bro.
Now understand that for these guys, the destruction itself is the turn on. It's not just about watching something fall apart, it's about the dramatic high-stakes nature of the event, the emotional intensity, the adrenaline rush, and the spectacle of it all combined to create a potent source of arousal.
Okay.
Also, this fetish can also manifest in different ways, depending on the individual's preferences and experiences.
Okay.
Some might find arousal in merely witnessing disasters, while others might feel compelled to create or stage destructive events to heighten their excitement. So, where does this come from? Well, psychologists think it might start early on, maybe a childhood experience involving a dramatic moment like a car crash, a house fire, or a major disaster.
Okay.
That mix of fear, adrenaline, and excitement might stick around and, over time, morph into something a little spicier. It's
Like
like
what?
your brain took a wild ride on the emotional roller coaster and decided to recreate the event, but in a sexier way. In
Okay.
a strange way, Symphorophilia isn't so alien. Humans are obsessed with destruction. Why do you think demolition videos have millions of views? Or why do we all slow down at accidents despite swearing we're better than that? Symphorophiles just crank that curiosity up to 11.
Oh, they
It's like
crank it.
regular people watching things fall apart for fun, except with Symphorophiles, the fall apart is fueling their sexual arousal.
Okay.
And no judgment here either, because the same way some people like watching buildings implode, others are into a good rom-com. To each their own.
Well, damn, that was every strange pleasure fantasy in 21 minutes. To the strangest ones, I don't know, probably the farts, the bugs, The armpits, oh hell nah, bro. Those ones were all really, really weird. I never heard of a lot of these, but I also never even knew they existed. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, join me Discord link in the description. Let me know what you want to check out next in the next video. Send me videos to check out as well. As always, have a great rest of your day. It's Love You Law. I love you, and I'm out.